Knows how vulnerable his people are. Not all of them. A lot of them are very, very keen, very strong, wise, but mostly we're just sheep. And I say just because sheep are the most dependent animal on the earth. There's no feral sheep, just bighorn sheep, and they're way up in the mountains. But regular sheep have to have a shepherd, or they will be extinct. And some examples that I've heard about sheep not being too smart is that if they roll over on their back in the pasture, usually they can't get up. Someone has to go over and turn them over and put them on their legs so that they can walk. And another is, let's say they're standing near a fire and something walks by them or a bird flies over their head and scares them. They'll jump into the fire sometimes. They're not, or if they're next to a cliff and the wind blows a limb and it scares them, they'll fall off the cliff. Not too bright. And the ones that the shepherd is constantly having to go and they don't stay with the group, they wander. I've heard that a long time ago the shepherd would break one of the sheep's legs and bandage it up and then carry that sheep everywhere with the shepherd where he would go to teach the sheep to stay with the flock. He does chastise his own. He says that. And sheep will only listen to one person, their shepherd. They know their shepherd's voice, and that's what Jesus says. My sheep hear my voice, and another they will not follow. So we're kind of trained, it's just human nature for us to listen to his voice. And they're not fighters, they're gentle as a lamb. And when you shear a sheep or you pick a sheep up, it doesn't fight. It just lets you do whatever you're going to do to it. And that's the way our Lord laid down his life. He could have called 10,000 angels to help him, but he didn't. He laid his life down for us to follow his lead. I'm not saying not to fight. You should pick up your sword and fight. But I'm just saying how sheep are a lot like people, or we are a lot like sheep. However you want to. And when Israel would have to bring the sacrificial lamb once a year to the high priest for forgiveness of sins, they didn't just go out and pick any little sheep out of their flock. What they had to do, and everybody knew it, they would get a lamb and bring it into the home, like we do dogs and cats. So it was their pet for a whole year. They fed it, they pet it. It was their house pet. It was their favorite lamb, and that's the one they had to bring to the priest to sacrifice. So it did hurt them. It's not just like it was just any lamb. That was their pet. It was personal.